This is a presentation on how to make a 3x3. A 3x3 is a fixed appliance that's applied to the lower canine to canine, and it gets its name from the lower 3 to lower 3, left and right. And so when you have your patient all banded up, this is when I take a look to make sure I have all of my teeth in alignment. It's all class 1, and I like the way that the bicuspids look. And so just kind of getting ready to take braces off is when the 3x3 happens. So a couple of little key things that we look for in cases is to make sure that we have occlusion of the second molars and we have a class 1 dental relationship and we have the bicuspids in contact. It's nice when the midlines line up, but not all cases do. And so here we are ready to fabricate a 3x3. So looking down here on these lower teeth, a lot of times the brackets will cause a little bit of unwanted rotation right here. And so you may have to use your dental drill and just lightly buzz the mesiolingual line angle of the lower 3s. It depends on your bracket, it depends on the thickness of the base of the bracket, it depends on the position of where you place this bracket, whether or not you'll have to do enamelplasty. So if you use a round burr, it just go down the line angle here. It makes it nice and smooth contour between number 2 and number 3. If a tooth is older in an older patient and they've chipped away the incisal edges of their tooth here, what's going to happen here is on the lingual side, you will see that the lingual frenum of the lower incisor will raise up, okay? And so you're putting your 3x3 in this area, and if it's raised up, you have to do some kind of bending to compensate for that. So pick up your burr and just lightly graze through that little area and recontour it so that way you can put your wire and make it nice and smooth. Some doctors terminate the wires on their 3s here either by making a downward bend going to the gingiva. It can either be a 90 degrees or it can be a full loop. Now I'm going to show you in this illustration how to just make it a straight wire all the way across. Now the only thing you need here is a slight bend in the wire, okay? And that bend will prevent the wire from actually moving through the cements, okay? So I'm going to show you that. Now I like to put my bend on tooth number 27 right here, and the reason I do that is so I know that the bend is in the right spot or on the right side of the patient when I go to orientate my 3x3, because it's not exactly even, it's not exactly symmetrical left to right. So you want this wire to go in as snug as you possibly can on the backs of these teeth. Okay, so we're going to switch over here and we're going to look at a model here. Okay, here is an impression taken of the patient. Okay, they're still in ortho, and we put some red wax over the bracket so that we can take a good impression. Okay, and then from this point here you can see we've done our little grazing. Okay, and now I pick out the spot that I want this wire to go in. Okay, and so I mark it out right where I want it. From here I go to the die trimmer, trimmed off the very tops of the teeth here, okay, and I'm just right down to what's left of my red line that I just made a second ago. Now when I look straight down on the model, I'll be able to see the exact curvature that I need to make to give the best 3x3 on the lowers, okay. Well, this is my spool of 3x3 material, and it is 0.032 stainless steel wire, okay, and I just have a big spool of it so I don't run out of it anytime soon. And I cut off a little bit more than I need, okay? So I have a permanent Sharpie here, and you should use these for ortho if you want to mark your wire. Use one of these ultra fine point Sharpies. They work great to mark on an arch wire if you're going to do any bending of the wire. They used to use those little wax toothpicks. Those always come off, but these don't. Okay, so I'm starting right here. Okay, so I've cut off my wire and I'm going to place it on the teeth here, and I'm going to hold this about, oh, you can see I'm not all the way through the canine on the lower three, okay? I'm just about 75% of the way there, and I make my first mark. Now these marks are in between the teeth, okay? So I hold this mark right here at the very distal aspect of 26, and as I advance that wire out of my hand, I try to keep it coming straight off, so that way I don't put any twists in the wire. So I'm there, there, there. Next mark. Okay, and then I hold it about right on the edge of the tooth number 22, and I make my biggest mark on the wire. Okay, so here's what all the marks look like. Okay, now I'm going to use my bird beaks. So it's going to be a reverse bend. So the first bend is pushing it outwards, and I make that a tiny, tiny little bend. Now that bend is going to be where the cement is. Okay, and so that little bend will be what gets held inside the cement when it's in the tooth. Okay, so the wire cannot slide back and forth. This is all of the retention that you need in a 3x3. Now this bend is going to go on tooth number 27. It's on the right side of the wire. It's going to be on the right side of the patient. So this is my orientation, like an orientation dot. This is my orientation in the wire, so I know which side is left and right. Okay, so for the next bends here, my little dots that you see on here represent in between the teeth, okay, or the width of the teeth. Now I want the bends to be right in the middle of that, okay? So the majority of this wire bending will be in between the black dots. Now what happens is you bring the wire into a point if you bend it right there, okay? And depending on where you place this wire in the bird beaks or the three-pronged pliers is going to show you how much bend you get. So if you really want to hide your bends, put the wire lower in the bird beaks, okay? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go kind of low. Now the wire is going to go and bend into the tooth, okay? So that's why I put all of my initial bends right in between the dots I've just made here, okay? And you want to hold that wire coming out nice. So then you kind of get an idea, how much did I bend it? Did I bend it enough or not enough? So kind of looking here, really pretty close. So I'll make a couple little adjustments. This one little spot I bent a little too much, so I'll just take a little bit of that out. Okay. And that's perfect. Now I go to that big spot and I cut where I had marked that biggest mark, and that's my cut spot. So I cut right on that mark. I make that spot real big so I know before I cut it that I've done exactly what I wanted to do. Okay, so now there it is. It fits completely nice and snug up against all of the teeth, and now I'm ready to do the cementation. What I think is really important is you talk to the patient and you tell them what you need help with, okay? So tell the patient that there's no shots going to be given. There's going to be something that looks like shampoo, which is your phosphoric acid, okay? And then also your dispenser for flowable. These things look like shots, but they're not. And kind of to show them a little bit of what your instruments are. The tongue is a pretty active little critter down here, so what you want to tell the patient is that you want to keep the tongue off the back of the lower teeth, okay? So that way you can get a good cementation. Now you're going to etch for 15 seconds, okay, with your phosphoric acid, and then you're going to rinse for 15 seconds. Then you put your cotton roll in, okay, and then you'll hit it with your lollipop. Do your little lollipop behind each tooth. Now do all 6 teeth. Etch all 6 and place your lollipop on the back. Thin it out with a blast of air, and then have it light cured. Okay. Now you're ready to place in your wire. Okay. Now your wire has been sitting probably in the lab for the last day or so, waiting for the patient to arrive. So you know that your orientation on this wire is going to be on the right side of the wire, okay? There's that special little bend that is definitely different than the left side, okay? So now you have your wire, and let's lay it right here for a second. Now over here, this is our coffee cup. And in our coffee cup, we pre-warm all of our composites, including even general dentistry TPH composites. Now if the composites come out at 100 degrees, it's going to really stick to the tooth and it's really going to bond. Okay, so this is the types of cements that we like to put on. It's called light bond, and this has been one of my favorite to-go-to cements for putting brackets on and for bonding on 3x3s. Okay, so let's put on this 3x3 here. Now this does get tricky. Okay, you're working with a tiny little wire. Okay, there isn't really a lot to hold on to, so I'm going to show you what I've found to make this easier. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of my light bond, and I'm not going to take a lot. I'm going to take just a little bit. Okay, and that's about that much. Okay, you see how sticky it is because it came out warm? It sticks to everything. Okay, so I'm going to put that over here, and I use a little bit of my lollipop. Okay, so I did not place a whole bunch on here. Okay, just enough to put some here on the tooth number 27, right hand side. Okay, and so I'm using half as much as I normally would, and I'm going to explain to you why. When I get over here, I'm going to put a full amount. All right, so here we go. So I'm going to grab probably double the amount that I just did, and because it's warm, it sticks. Okay, and I'm going to place that on the tooth number 22. Okay, this is the left side, so I have double the amount on the left side. Now this little area right here, you want to make sure that that's smooth when you're doing it in the patient, and the only way to see this area of your cement is using a mouth mirror. Okay, so you put your mouth mirror in and look right there. Okay, so now I'm going to put on the other half of the cement that I need to put on 27. I'm going to put it back on my carrier. Okay, now because the cement has been warmed up, it's sticky to everything, and that means it also would be sticky to my 3x3. So I'm going to put on the cement right here on the right side. Okay, and so I'm going to just drop this in right here. I'm going to sandwich the two composites together. Okay, so sandwiching the two composites together, and all I need is just gravity. The other side, and I smush that in there. Okay, now my 3x3 is bonded on. Okay, this is a giant choke hazard. This is difficult, and the first time you do one of these, I've seen just a whole bunch of different techniques. Okay, so this is all it takes. Okay, so this one gets sandwiched in, and you can see over here. So let's go ahead and initiate the composite. Now I'm going to come back here on 22, and I'm going to add some more. Okay, Okay, just adding some more in there. And you can see the bars nice and straight. And okay, now I like to do this. I like flowable here. I don't want these teeth to move at all. Okay, even though the wire is nice and snug up here, this is my preference. You can quit right here on your 3x3, or you can do this. You can add just a little bit. You've already acid etched. Okay, you have your lollipop already over here, so you can just do this. Now you can, typically in the clinic, you can get away with doing about 2 of those. Okay, and then you gotta light cure it, and then you can do your other 2. Okay. Okay, and then you finish your other 2 right here. Okay, so now that we have this cemented in, we're going to use the Midwest 7404 and 7408. On the handpiece here, I have the 7408, and we're going to contour right down next to the gums and the tooth here. We want to make sure there's no ledge there and this is nice and smooth. Okay, if there's any bubbles at all in your composites, take them out. Bubbles are sharp to the tongue, very abrasive. And then you just want to make sure it's nice and clean. So this is light bond on the terminal ends of the wires, okay? And then this is flowable composite, okay? And I maintain the flowable composite up to a year. And then after it starts wearing away, then I just maintain this part of it. So it prevents the teeth from moving, okay? One of the other things about when you come out of ortho, sometimes the marginal ridges are not exactly well lined up. You can use a round burr to help align those ridges up a little bit better. So that way your case presents better. It certainly makes it look nicer. So after making a 3x3, you do have cleanup. And what I recommend is put all of your 3x3 making material all together in a little tiny box in a drawer so you can just grab it the next time you make a 3x3. These 3x3s, you can do them, the fastest I've ever done one is 28 seconds. I was under a little pressure to get it done, and these things cost $65 from a lab, okay? And the problem is, by the time you mail them there, get them back, you've already had some unwanted tooth movements. So make them yourself. It only takes a few minutes to make one, and using this cementation method is the easiest. The amount of time that we spend with the patient from start to finish is about 5 minutes cementing a 3x3. So it's a quick, easy thing to do, and it's a great way to keep teeth from moving. All right, I hope you enjoyed this presentation.